Hello Saturnians! So today I show you how I make and how I use sun water. Of course that different witches will have different ways of making and using sun water, so this is just how I use it and how I make it, okay? Having said that, let's get started. So here I have a jar with filtered water, and I am going to make sun water in 3 different recipients because I'll use them for 3 different purposes. Now this one I use to cleanse my crystals. This one in the big bottle I will use for ritual bath. So I'm just going to put some salt and rue inside, and it's gonna be a very powerful bath water. And this small one is just pure sun water that I'm going to use for several different purposes, for spells. And I want it in a small bottle because I want to be able to take with me in my purse or when I travel. So I'm just gonna leave them outside for 3 consecutive days to receive sunlight. Now, I don't leave them outside all day. I will collect them as soon as the sun starts going down. Then I'll collect them and put them back in the sun again in the next morning. Okay? So this one in the jar I am going to use to cleanse my crystals. Now, an important rule of the sun water is that sun water helps release energy, while moon water helps you infuse energy. So if I want to release energy from a crystal, I'll use sun water. If I want to infuse crystal with energy, then I use moon water. Okay, so what I'm going to do is whatever is inside my bottles with sun water. So if I put a crystal inside the sun water, the energy from the crystal will be released in the water, okay, and not the other way around. With moon water is the opposite. If I put a crystal inside moon water, what happens is that the intent of the water goes inside the crystal. Now this is how it makes sense to me. So I'm going to show you how I'll cleanse my crystals with salt. So I'm just gonna put some salt in this jar like this. And I want to remove energy from this crystal. So I'm just going to put this crystal inside the jar with salt. And when it starts receiving sunlight, what is going to happen is that the sun and the salt will help release the energy from the crystal in the water. And then I will discard the water and keep the crystal, okay? So this is the basic rule of sun water. The same happens with the water that I'm going to use for bath. I am going to put some herbs inside my bottle, and the energy from the herb is going to be released in the water that I'm going to use for ritual bath, okay? And the small one is just going to be pure sun water for several purposes. So now I want to take you to my garden with me so that I show you exactly how I do it. So this is my rue. Rue is very important in Brazilian witchcraft. It's a powerful cleanser, okay? So if you want to make a powerful bath water, what you do is that you use rue and salt in the water and leave it to receive sunlight. And then at the end of 3 days, you have, water that is very good for cleansing yourself. So if you have been to a place and you feel that your energy has been drained, you can take a bath with this water, and it's going to help you recharge. It's going to help you get rid of negative energies. Also, here in Brazil, when kids are sick, we take them to a witch who's going to use rue to remove, energy, negative energy from their aura. It has always been like that here in Brazil. So I'm just gonna put some rue inside my bottle, and I'm gonna show you how to do it. Here it is. I already put some rue inside my water. I'm just going to add a little bit more, like this. I'll put it like that. Let's put some salt in it. You don't need a lot, just a little bit. Salt is a witch's best friend. I cannot witch without salt. Okay? Little bit of this is enough. And now let's just shake. Like this. Okay. So I am just going to leave the bottles here to receive sunlight. Here is the one with my crystal, and I want to cleanse this crystal, so I'm just gonna add a little bit more salt, and I'll leave it here for a few hours. At around 5 p.m. I'll come and collect the bottles, and then the next morning I'm gonna do this again. Okay, so here it is. Now you see that I always put these thingies around my jars and my bottles, and this is a funny story. I used to have labels around my jars and bottles saying what they were for. So I would have labels saying sun water, moon water, spell for whatever. But I stopped doing this. And the reason why I stopped is because, I am a couch surfer, and I have a lot of visitors coming to stay with me at my place, because I also receive a lot of couch surfers in my place. And I even have my witchy room is on Airbnb as well. So it happens that I have a lot of people come and stay with me for a few days. And because I have all those bottles around, all those jars around with spells, potions, whatever, people started opening my bottles and my jars, to smell, to see what is inside, whatever. And I thought that having the labels there really piqued people's curiosity. So I stopped doing it, and instead I put, I have a little sun here, and this is a little dream catcher. So I have codes that only I know what it means. And I do tell people when they come to sleep in my witchy room, I say, if you touch my bottles, you have a slow, painful death. So please don't do it. And then they stopped doing it. So this is the reason why I have this, codes. I have my moon waters have a little moon around them, sometimes a hand. It's really a code that I have developed so that I know what's inside. And so what I'm gonna do now is I'll remove the lids, because I want these bottles to receive sun light all day, right? So I want the lids to be removed. Now I see some people that get annoyed if little bugs enter the water and something like that. And it doesn't annoy me at all. I actually even like it. So I leave everything open and I'm just gonna leave them here for the whole day. I want them to receive as much sunlight as possible. So I make sure that that they are here at midday because that's when the sun is most powerful. And I'll just leave them here to receive sunlight. So I have repeated the same process for 3 consecutive days, and now is the end of the third day. So my bath water is ready to be used. So I can just, store it in a safe place like this. And I'll remove my crystal from the jar because my crystal is now cleansed. Now, an important thing is that you want to get rid of this water. I just return it to nature. Because if you cleanse your crystal, that means that all the negative energy that was in the crystal was transferred to the water. So you don't want to use it for your spells or your rituals, okay? And this is my little bottle and it's ready to be used as well. So I am just going to clean up everything and then I'll explain to you how I use the bath water. So this is the sun water that I use to take a bath when I feel that I need to cleanse myself and get rid of negative energies. Now there is rue inside and there is salt. I have to warn you that the smell of this water is not very pleasant because, as you guys know, rue doesn't smell very nice. But it's worth it to take a bath with this water. So what I do is I simply pour the whole thing on my head. And I know my hair doesn't smell very good afterwards, but it only lasts for, maybe a couple of hours and then the smell goes away. Later, I can take a proper shower, and I get rid of the smell. But it is super powerful, you see. Real witchcraft is not fluffy. And here is my jar. I can absolutely reuse this jar. I will use it again to cleanse my other crystals. It's no problem about that. And my little bottle is also ready for me to take it everywhere with me. So yeah, that was it. I hope you enjoyed my process of making and using sun water, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.